you. I'm Melissa Anderson. In the next few weeks, voters will decide on 3 St. George City candidates from a list of 6. We've decided to ask them all the same questions for a brief overview of their standings. And with me today is candidate Gregg McArthur. Welcome, Gregg.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Thanks for having me today.
Nice to have you on the show. Now, tell us, you're not new to St. George. Tell us a little bit about your background and why you want to run for St. George City Council.
Sure thing. So I'll tackle why I want to run for St. George City Council first.
Okay.
So I'm born and raised in St. George. I absolutely love this community, just like you, and I'm sure everybody that's watching this now. This place it's special. It's something special. Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm 5th generation St. George native. It's given me so much, this community has, and I want to give back. My grandpa used to always ask us kids when we were kids, he'd say, what do you do when you love something? And he'd say, you actively serve it. And so I want to serve the community that's given me so much. I want to give back to it. I also want to make sure that as we move forward, I would like to work to make sure that we preserve the things that make St. George such a special place. And so that's the reason why I want to be on St. George City Council.
Mm-hmm. And so why do you think that you should be chosen then?
Sure. So a city council representative is someone who represents the citizens of St. George. And I think I'm qualified to represent the citizens. I've been very involved in the community. I'll give you a few examples of a few of the things that I've done. So I served for 6 years as the president of the St. George Area Chamber of Commerce. During that time, I got to know the business community very well. So I know the businesses well, I know their needs, and I can represent them. At that time, I also worked on economic development quite a bit. So I know where we've been with economic development, and I know where we should go in the future, and I have some good ideas that I can contribute there. I worked on the St. George Arts Commission for 5 years. So I know the arts in St. George, and I think that's a big part of our community, and I can give back there. I also worked in the Travel and Tourism Board for 6 years, so I know what we're doing with travel and tourism. In my current career, I work as a commercial real estate broker selling hotels. So I know a lot of the hotel owners, I know the travel and tourism needs, so I can represent us there. This and among quite a few other things, I feel like I can represent the people of St. George quite well. So
great. So knowing all of that, what do you feel are the most important issues facing St. George now and in the future?
Sure. So I think all of the issues we have tie back to one big issue, and that's our growth. Mm-hmm. So over the last year, we were the 3rd largest growing community in the United States. Over the last decade, 2 decades, we've been either in the top 3 or number 1. That brings a lot of issues with it. So traffic congestion, air quality, economic development, affordable housing, all of these things tie back to growth. So these are the biggest issues we face, and I don't see them going away. We need someone that gets into office, gets in city council, that can know about economic development, knows about growth, has been involved in development and those things, so they can help represent the people and make sure they make the proper right decisions moving forward.
So what's your stance then on taxes on roads and infrastructure to support that future growth?
Sure. So there is a tax program in place for that called impact fees. So we're currently making it so when someone builds a new house and new people move in, there's impact fees. So new growth helps pay for those things. I'm a fiscally conservative person, so when it comes to coming up with new taxes, I'd rather see us be conservative in other ways. I'm not for increasing taxes. Plus, we've actually just had a tax increase that was just done. The county increased our transportation tax by 1/4%, so that'll go into our roads and things. So.
Okay, and very briefly, what's your support in the construction of a Lake Powell pipeline and possibly the Northern Corridor if those come through?
Sure, let's tackle both of them. First and foremost, the Lake Powell pipeline. The St. George currently works on the Virgin River Basin. That's where we get all of our water from. So with our growth, we've kind of got close to tapping out of being able to use that water. We're in the 90th percentile of usage on that water. So when we look at opportunities to get new water, I'm definitely for the Lake Powell pipeline, using the Colorado River Basin and bringing that water in. So I would be for that. Now I'd like to make sure that the state can help us out and taxes don't go high off those things. The second one, the Northern Corridor. Mm-hmm. When we look at that, I like the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve. I like that we don't have houses that go from St. George all the way up to Pine Valley. So I definitely like that, and I'd like to make sure that we preserve it. Now, when we look at issues that face us, we have transportation, we have air quality. Those are a couple issues that we have. If we can have a road that's well planned, that comes through there, stays close to St. George, it's only a road, no additional infrastructure around it, that can help alleviate issues that affect us with air quality because of idling traffic and higher traffic, then I am for that. I think that would be something that's good, and we also want to preserve the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve, but I think a road going through it is okay.
We have just a few seconds left. Finally, why should someone vote for you?
Sure. Well, those who know me know that I'm friendly, I'm approachable, I'm in the thick of my career. I'm energetic, I'm energized, I'm ready to get things done, And if anything needs doing at the city, they can come to me. I also have a new, fresh set of eyes that I can bring to the city. I haven't run on city council yet, so I'm not an incumbent. I can come in and give some new, fresh perspectives.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks for watching. And be sure to tune in for more interviews with candidates prior to the election day. And remember to get out and vote.